Hello and welcome to In Conversation with Autumn Charlize. I am Autumn Charlize, and today I am joined by a great friend of mine, the woman with many names, my demented father, Della Lish.
Disturbed.
Disturbed. I'm sorry. I always forget what is that, an adjective?
Description. Yes, adjective would work.
Okay. I always forget the adjective on that. But yeah, I am here with Brandon Blattner, Della Lish McGee.
Why use the Facebook name? I've been Licious for 25 years.
Delicious. Okay. Well, I think it's time to change the Facebook name, and that's what I brought you here.
Usually people stand corrected, but currently you're sitting corrected. Well, thank you so much for having me on your highly rated and incredibly groundbreaking, earth-shattering show.
Well, it will be groundbreaking and earth-shattering. You're my first guest.
If anything can break the ground.
That's the last thing. That's the last thing we need is another groundbreaking in Fort Wayne.
Making fat jokes. Did you hear?
Okay. No.
Canceled.
See, it can't happen that quickly.
I've heard that it happens really quickly with you, so I don't.
Or not at all. So,
Don't show your label.
Yeah, that's right. We got it turned around until they start paying me again, whoever they may be. So Della. This is probably great podcast material.
It is. And now you know what it sounds like when it actually happens.
Yeah.
Let me make this better for you.
No, we're not doing ASMR today. Why not? We should. Well, Della, for the uninitiated, I know everybody.
Oh, here comes the interview question.
I know everybody. Everybody knows you. Everyone who is worth anything in this city, in this town, in this area, in this nation, in this region knows you.
No, they don't.
But I want to hear from you a little bit about who you are, where you're from.
Sweating so hard.
I told
the food was spicy though.
Okay, it was sausage. It was not spicy.
There was a little bite to it.
I was like, see, this is how helping my credibility. You said that I couldn't handle seasoning, and this is proof. You've got it on camera. It's for everybody to see,
for all 5 viewers,
and they're loving it.
No, do you want to open the window? Like I turned the fan on, but it'll cool you off even more. Just don't knock the other menorah down.
Oh my gosh.
So there's 2 locks, and maybe it was already unlocked.
No,
it wasn't.
No. Oh, maybe
it was. It was unlocked. Well, I've just been letting dollars fly right out that window.
Yeah.
Are you allowed to cuss on this?
Oh yeah.
Fuck it. All right. So, do you?
Oh, yeah. It was actually unlocked. It was locked first.
See, I told you.
Don't try to. Just so you guys know, don't try to come in this window most of the time, except for right now while we're recording.
No, there's a drive-through for that.
Yeah, that's right.
So you want me to tell them all about me, and I will happily do that. Am I not talking loud enough? Okay, fine.
Who you?
Here.
Yeah, please.
Welcome.
That's right.
So my name is Brandon Blattner. My stage name is Della Licious. I've been doing drag it'll be 25 years on June 16th. Can you believe that? And I'm 29 years old. Mm-hmm. I would say my sign, my astrological sign, because the kids are wild about that.
They are.
But I don't believe in any of that. I don't put any merit into what stars were where, and that makes you who you are, but that typical Scorpio. Am I right?
Okay, that's so stupid.
Stupid. Now I'm being called
No, okay,
I
just
made you dinner.
No, and it was delicious. I'll tell you what.
I've tried to be very forward-facing when it comes to charities. I've tried to be very forward facing when it comes to the media, and I've tried to be forward facing when it comes to a car coming towards me. But I've learned a lot in the 25 years I've done drag, the good, the bad, the ugly, and the gorgeous.
Yeah.
And I've been described as all four. Um, but also, I've learned a lot about people. And so I know you have this enormously well thought out show. Um, this
I'm
notebook,
sweating.
the secrets in this notebook could be yours.
for for pretty cheap, to be honest.
I mean,
So I no, but I there. Listen,
I have no
podcasting
choice but.
podcasting is about the journey, Della.
And this is your first completely uncut interview.
Completely uncut. That's right. That's right.
So I'm looking forward to that.
I know. Me too. Me too. Yeah. 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 Um. So here's my question. You have been, um, I would say, a keystone of the drag community in Fort Wayne, the LGBTQ plus community in Fort Wayne, um, at least for as long as I have been attending the bar, which has not been very long at all, over a decade. Um, and so I wanna ask you, first, what has been your experience in Fort Wayne's drag scene and beyond? Because I mean,
I,
you have taken it. Your career has taken you other places.
yeah, well, I've traveled all over the country, and I found that people think, especially in the age of RuPaul's Drag Race, think that drag queens are all bitchy, and we are, but we're also not cruel.
Mm,
We know what it's like to face up to a bully and square up to a bully, even those in our own community. And so we have a very, much like factory reject M&M, we have a very hard shell,
mhm.
but will melt in your mouth. I'm not. No, but deep down inside, we're very sweet.
That's right. That's right. For the most part. Um. So you have. I feel like from my perspective, I've seen some different eras of drag. You have seen some eras of drag.
Mhm.
You've seen drag evolve
Yes.
before your very eyes from the stage,
Yeah.
even. Um, how, what has been the biggest change in drag culture, in the drag scene, in your opinion?
It used to be back when I was a little girl.
That's right.
Drag was in this set box, and everybody did um, a walk number, a dance number, and a ballad. And everybody wore the same kind of costuming, and everybody wore the same kind of hair for the most part,
Yeah.
same kind of jewelry. Um, and it was just this very cookie cutter thing. Like you basically picked the colors you put on your face. But otherwise it was all the same. And now there is drag in every, shape or form. You have bearded queens. You have people who wear no padding whatsoever. You have people who are over padded. You have people who wear very little makeup. People that wear entirely too much with a big Trixie Mattel
Yes.
thing.
Yes.
And even bigger than that, like Amanda Lepore.
Yeah.
And so I've seen it evolve quite a lot. And in that time, I think it's great that we're allowing for different forms of art
Yeah.
to be put on parade.
Mhm.
And I think that's something that's very necessary because there are so many creative people in our community and beyond our community that should get should get a place. Now, I will say, I've read online recently where people are saying all drag is valid, but not all drag is bookable, and I disagree. Art is very, very objective,
Yes.
and or it says subjective. It's subjective. Is it up?
Sure. I'm just gonna agree with whatever you
It's it.
say. I can never get the two of those right. So
God, we have something in common. So drag is very it's art, I should say, is very, it's what you like is the art you're drawn to. So much because drag is art.
Mhm.
All art is valid, but not all art is wanted by everyone. It's not everyone's cup of tea.
Yeah.
And so for the people that, case in point, I have a couple pieces of art in my home and I bought it because I like it or it means something to me.
Hmm.
And the stuff that I'm not going to have a painting with, you know, panties mixed in the paint and somebody's ass cheeks. That's just not,
Right.
that doesn't appeal to me,
But it is for someone.
but it is for someone. And we should cater to everyone um, as long as it makes sense. Like there's a place in any showcast for any entertainer as long as they're entertaining.
Right.
Yes.
Um, and this is the thing that I really respect about you as a performer, as someone who is kind of like a trendsetter, tastemaker in the
I wouldn't
scene.
say a trendsetter. I follow.
Well,
I watch the trends.
well, yes, but the thing, the when I say that you're a trendsetter, I mean, you are a trendsetter for your generation, your demographic of drag queen. Which is a nice way. I'm not trying. You are out and
For an old broad, you're still doing it.
no, that's not what I'm trying to say. But look, a little bit.
I feel so bad. All they're seeing is my profile because I'm trying to have a good conversation.
I'm hey, I've got my hands in a couple of different pots right now. Yeah,
I'm off the table.
so, so so when I say that you're a trendsetter, I mean like you are setting the temperature for the acceptance of different kinds of drag in a way that maybe we're not seeing from other
Well, and
queens who have been doing it for as long as you have.
I am of the mind that being a bitchy gay is not a personality.
Yeah.
And I also feel that we need more kindness in the world. So I can say things that are hateful occasionally.
You've said plenty to me tonight, so
Have you heard me say it?
now have you heard me?
Not at all.
I'm gonna turn this back on you again.
But no, I think that we all deserve kindness. And so I try to treat people like lead with kindness so that, treat people the way you want to be treated.
Mm.
I don't mind someone being bitchy with me, but I also don't want somebody giving me hate. So I try not to show hate towards anyone unless it is incredibly well warranted.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
it's so seldom and far between that I have that kind of feeling for someone. I can dislike them, but there's still room at my table for them.
Well, and I mean, I think that that is, I think that that's admirable because you don't really have to have that energy, you know?
I think this world would be a better place if we did.
It would be, but just because of your cachet, because of who you are in our community, you wouldn't have to be that way, but you choose to be, and
Would
I
love
think that
that,
that's
you know?
yeah, yeah, no, I absolutely agree, I absolutely agree. One of the things that you did say, um, or mention briefly was about RuPaul's Drag Race.
Oh God.
Yeah,
Oh, sorry.
no, you're fine, you're fine. Um, I uh I want to know kind of like what do how do you think that that has transformed the art form?
It is a double-edged sword.
Yes. Okay. I'm so down to have this conversation.
Okay, so RuPaul's Drag Race brought drag into America's living rooms
Mm-hmm.
in a way that it hadn't been before, which is great. But now everyone thinks that they are an expert on in drag because they watched RuPaul's Drag Race. And I can't tell you how many times I will have somebody come up to me in the bar, or at a brunch or hosting a bingo or whatever and say, "Oh my God, we love drag. We watch RuPaul's Drag Race." And that is not, yeah, there's drag in it, is in the title, but it's not, that's not seeing a drag show. That's not knowing a drag entertainer. You're watching something that has been overly produced
Right.
and scripted for a viewing audience to get ratings
Yeah.
and to get that advertising money. I personally believe that RuPaul's Drag Race is a blowjob for RuPaul's music and
Which,
runway looks,
yeah.
which, if you don't mind me saying, RuPaul's music already blows.
Doesn't it? And it has for years.
But I think that it's gained a lot of attention, but it's also the people that used to get really excited about coming to a drag show, and mind you, there are still many, can turn on the TV. And so,
and think that they're
and think
watching
that
a
they're
drag
there,
show.
right?
Yeah. And it's
And
like,
they're not supporting local entertainers and local art
yeah.
because they're watching something that has been, cultivated and honed to be something that is compelling, when drag doesn't have to be compelling. It just has to be fun. It has to be moving. It has to stir some kind of emotion in you.
Yeah.
And that's something I know a lot of queens who've been on RuPaul's Drag Race.
Yeah.
Some of them are really good friends of mine. And I've had the opportunity to work with many others. But I mean, there are local entertainers. The stage tonight, and the stage tomorrow, and the stage next weekend at the local drag bar will have more talent on it than RuPaul's Drag Race will. Not because they're untalented, but because you get to see them real, raw, and in person.
And hungry.
And yes, sometimes. I'm not.
But you know what I mean? Like, it's
The
the
Manjaro's the Manjaro. Yeah.
well, the thing from my perspective is like, I'm so grateful for RuPaul's Drag Race. I remember in the early 2000s being a teenager, being at home, secretly watching, the first secretly watching like the first
I
few.
remember in the early 2000s doing drag stage in a gay bar.
Okay, well, some of us didn't have the luxury of being so old. Um, but this is going to be a horrible podcast because I'm just laughing the whole time.
No,
Sorry.
but it's uncut.
Yeah,
That's what matters.
that's what matters.
Because
Yes.
it doesn't matter. This is a full interview, completely uncut
Uncut,
interview.
in total. So, so I remember as a young teen sitting and watching Logo and watching shows that I probably should have been watching, like
Right.
Queer as Folk and L Word and RuPaul's Drag Race being one of them. And like how grateful I am in retrospect that I had that sort of content. But now, even then, Drag Race was a completely different thing.
Right.
Like back then,
No,
Drag Race.
It wasn't as heavily scripted. It wasn't as heavily produced. It seemed like let's throw this at the wall and see if it stuck. And it did. And now it's people that are, and even when at the onset of it, it was, who can RuPaul mold into being what RuPaul thinks drag is?
Yeah.
And art, in my mind, shouldn't be boxed and cultivated like that.
No.
It should be and of course, have some guardrails up.
Yes.
But let it run free.
Yeah, because I mean, the less or the more control that you try to have over it, right?
Right.
The less progress is made in expanding that idea of that art. So and I love that you said what you said about local drag, because I always tell people that I would go see a local
Mhm.
drag show over any like highly produced. We've had RuPaul girls at the embassy, and it's
Mhm.
not about the RuPaul girls. It's like why are we filling the embassy
Right.
when two
I
blocks away?
how many, across the country, how many gay bars are closing
Yeah,
every week
yeah.
because they just don't have the business?
Well, and do you see? I mean, I think that gay bars are just like an integral piece of our culture that maybe we're
And,
letting die. How
well,
do you feel about that?
I don't think we're letting them die, and I have said this since since I first started. I can find there's an interview I can show you.
Oh, a
Uh,
good interview. It's what you mean to say.
it was print news.
Oh, yeah, it was on the Gutenberg.
Yes. The Hindenburg?
Listen,
Anyways,
I'm not saying anything about your namesake.
so, no, Jesus.
I'm sorry. It's just-
No, I said in this interview, that acceptance, and it's been this way for so long. I think the article was from 2005.
Mm,
Acceptance in the community has gotten to where, um, for the most part, queer people feel safe in general public spaces, which is wonderful. And the gay bar is something that, yes, it's great for the community, and it's great to have people come to visit our community, but it's something that's dying because why would you? And when I say you, I don't mean you because I
right,
see you
right.
there all the time. You see me there all the time.
Yeah.
But a lot of people think, why would I want to go there when I could just go to the Podunk Country Bar down the street?
Mm,
And in making that decision and that choice, they're not thinking this place has been a safe space for the last 30, 40, 50, 60, 70 years is going to go out of business because there's some cute straight guys I can buy drinks for and try to get in their pants
yeah.
or just have the illusion of it.
Well,
Which
yeah.
I understand the thought behind it, but and I mean, I think we're all guilty of it by not just strictly going to one place. And that's how it was in, the 60s, 70s, and 80s
We
and
had
in the
to.
90s. Yeah.
There was no option.
Right. And so now there are all these options. And so it's kind of a novelty, but it's a novelty it's a novelty that's worth keeping alive
Yeah, I
by far.
absolutely agree. I absolutely agree. I think even if we look back to the last decade, I was in the bar as like gay marriage was
Uh-huh.
legalized, and so
Or
it
marriage
just
equality.
uh, oh, I'm sorry, cancel again, everybody. Said the wrong thing. My apologies. My tongue got stuck in my mustache. So
Feel sorry for your tongue.
oh, do you have your article
Actually,
right here? Oh my gosh, brilliant. The on-air story of Della Licious.
do you know who I was? Yes.
What do you mean?
So in the early 2000s, I
You were an on-air
yes, I
personality, Hot
was. Yeah,
1079.
correct. And
You
so
thought you got me.
this was the story after that all happened. This was in spring of 2006.
How long were you on the air?
About two
Look at that face.
that was in our local newspaper on the cover of the living section.
And you were living
Yes.
in that moment. Oh my gosh, this is so
No,
notable and
in
brilliant.
it. And I said things like, I don't have a face for radio, I have a face for TV. But
And that's true.
so it was a little over 2 years I was there. Um,
So it was over 2 years at this point.
No, so I was, yeah, it was about 2 years after but I was on the air for about 2 years.
Oh, okay. What
And we did a drag race.
what was your time slot? Where were you?
I was in the morning drive, like 5 in the morning till
Like,
10 in the morning.
oh
Yeah.
wow. Wow. And did you enjoy that?
Yeah,
Well, what?
I did. It was a lot. It
I mean,
was,
6 hours
you
every
know what? It
morning is
wasn't this one where I said the thing about the gay bar, but I can find it.
okay, okay, okay.
Um, that was actually, so the article where I said that was with this picture was from Joel. Show it to-
Oh yeah, show it to the camera.
Look at that. Look at that punum.
Look at her.
Look at it. Ah, damn. Jesus
Stop.
Christ. So, yeah, no, I said something about how it's, gay bars are going to become a novelty, and they have. But again, a novelty is something very much worth keeping
Hmm.
because, I mean, who doesn't love something that brings back nostalgia and something that makes you feel safe?
Hmm. Yeah. No, absolutely. Um, so do you want to talk about that for a second? Do you want
Sure.
to talk about
Yeah.
your time on air
Yeah.
for a
Most
moment?
certainly. Well, not
Because
most certainly. But
because
yeah.
because there were that was kind of an era where, I wasn't like driving yet. So I wasn't like listening to the radio every morning sort of vibe. And I remember when I first started going to the gay bar,
Mhm.
there would be people who would be like, oh, yeah, Brandon, blah, blah, blah. He was on the radio,
Mhm.
1079, blah, blah, blah. Um, and I feel like probably that, along with your drag persona,
Mhm.
was what kind of got you notability around Fort Wayne.
I,
Is
I
that, I mean,
I'd already been doing so. The radio station had a thing where they're looking for a new co-host for the morning show, and they said it in its and hell, even maybe a drag queen, and it was a joke.
yeah.
And then I came in and I was saying all this stuff just off the top of my head that people just kept voting for me, and the higher ups wanted me to keep going, so I did.
Mm,
And then, sadly, the ratings took a dive because country music made a resurgence. And so we were on top. We were the number one station in town,
yeah.
book after book after book for the ratings.
Yeah.
And then the country station won. And the owner said, and I quote, um, maybe it's the Ellen thing. Maybe you're too gay. This was after I did a promo for, it was either Kings Island or Cedar Point. I don't remember which one. They had the Top Thrill Dragster ride.
Yeah.
I don't remember which one it was, but
Cedar Point. Yeah.
so yeah, so they wanted me to do, it was the opening weekend for that, and they wanted me to do a promo for it. We were giving out tickets for it. And all I had to say was, but I'm the dragster. I
See,
gold letter stuff. I mean,
yeah.
writing was so
Yeah. I mean,
great. But so I did that. And so the owner of the station who said, after the ratings, maybe you're too gay, maybe it's the Ellen thing,
right.
which I hear it still. Like I was so
Oh.
incensed by that. But he said, no, fag it up.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my God. So does that like was that a moment that you just like uh, what did that moment do for you specifically?
I kept thinking that I have a career and I have a job and I have insurance. And I also would have to really throw him hard to get him through the wall with the soundproofing on it.
Yeah.
So that was one of those moments where I was like, just
Yeah.
bigger picture. And a lot of people don't think bigger picture. I probably should have spoken up more than I didn't go silently into that,
I'm sure.
but I should have spoken up more.
Yeah.
But at that moment, there was somebody with power and somebody who signed my paycheck that
Yeah.
was saying those ridiculous things. And I had to find a way to continue surviving because I think we all go into that survival mode
Yeah.
when we have to deal with something. And I'm not going to equate this with, sexual assault or anything like that. But the same survival instinct is there when you're like, holy shit,
Yeah.
What am I going to do?
Well, um, oh, I had a question and it was right on the tip of my
But
tongue.
so when they fired me, when I
Yes.
was let
Yes, yes,
go,
yes,
they
yes.
said, we'd like our key and all of your station gear. And then they said, and how do you want to go out? How do you, what's the bit that you want your character to leave the radio with? And I said, how about you give me my check before I drive my car through the building?
Oh,
And
girl.
I set their key down and I left.
You are someone, I mean, I've watched
I am
you.
someone.
But then that's what I tell everybody. She is someone.
She's so, if you
You
want
are
to be somebody, if you want to go somewhere, you
you are
gotta wake up and
someone
pay
on
attention.
you are someone on stage who I have seen. Um, y- I've seen people try to take the moment from
Well,
you from center stage, and you essentially reach down, grab them, pick them up.
not physically,
Right,
not physically.
not physically, and you place them back where they need to be, all with
Have you,
words.
or a look.
Yes,
Have you
yes,
seen the
yes. And
bachelorette party and somebody grabs my microphone? I'm like,
exactly, exactly. I'm thinking about the old days of
yeah,
bachelorette parties when they would come to the gay bar. That's what I
they
was going to
still
say
do.
earlier. But like, it was just so different then,
Yeah.
too. Especially, I mean, it felt kind of like a knife in the side.
Well, I know we still have them coming in, and I think there is a book somewhere, and I want to find the authors so I can strangle them. They say every bachelorette party should go to a drag show, which is great, but it shouldn't be your first visit to the gay bar.
Right. And
I mean,
oftentimes it is.
and so it's like the night is all about that. Bitch, we don't know you.
Nope.
We don't care about you, and you're going to be divorced in 6 months.
And you
So
don't give a fuck about
right.
us or
Right.
the art that's about
And they're,
us.
oh, my feet hurt so much. Look at, and oh, this song's about me. I'll get out of my way. I need a drink. Oh, are you really gay? Are you sure? Do you want to go shopping with me? All of those things.
What a nightmare.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is a
No.
nightmare.
Yeah, no.
But I mean, on the flip side, we've had some great bachelorette parties where they all come in and they're having a great time and they're
spending money.
and we're getting
Tipping.
tips and the bar's making money and everyone's really respectful. But then there are also times where you'll step out like after a show, you haven't peed for 4 or 5 hours. You need to go to the bathroom. You go to the bathroom, you go to whichever one is easier to get in. And not that we care about who goes into what bathroom at
Right.
a gay bar,
Yeah, exactly.
especially the one in Fort Wayne.
Exactly.
But I'll be walking out and there'll be a woman standing there trying to get in, and and
Yeah.
I'm like,
Do you know where you are?
Why?
Do you know what time it
I'm
is?
sorry, you're in our house. You're in our
So my question about this, about this demeanor, about this kind of like no holds bar
Uh-huh.
sort of energy that you bring in moments like that. Where did you get that? How like have you always been like that? Is that something that you've developed?
So I have always tried to be a people pleaser and tried to be, someone that kind of goes with the flow. And growing up, that's how I was.
Mm.
However, I was raised by some very strong women.
Yeah.
My mom she was a powerhouse.
Mm.
And she was not aggressive. She was not even overly assertive. But if you pushed her too far, then look out.
Yeah.
I guess that's the end.
Mm-hmm.
And then there was my maternal grandmother, who she didn't take crap from anyone.
Yeah.
My mom's first husband was very abusive to her. And so my grandmother knew that her daughter was being beaten up by this son of a bitch. By the way, not my father.
Okay.
And so let me
Yeah.
make that,
He said,
put that out there.
just so everybody knows.
Actually, my mom called me when he died. It was Valentine's Day of like 2015. And she goes, oh, isn't it so sad he died? No, she just told me that he died. And I said, oh, what should I get for lunch? And so she called me later. She goes, did you see what I said? Steve died. And I said, did you see my reply? Because I need to know what I should get for lunch. I was working in Dallas, and I'm I couldn't give two shits about this man. But anyways, so they get into my grandmother's house. He had a penchant for flinging the door open. And that's just like he announced he was there, and there was a hole in the wall, like where the door knob would go
No.
through the wall. And so he made his way in and made his grand entrance, flung the door open. And so she knew he was there. And so they got into the living room, and mom said, Steve, are you hungry? And he said, yeah. And so she went and made him a sandwich, and she brought it to him. And he said, you didn't cut this.
Which were famous last words.
And so my grandmother, knowing everything that was going on,
Mm-hmm.
if I still had her wig, I'd put it on.
See,
So she said she grabbed that plate and went into the kitchen, and she cut it until it was dust. And came back holding the knife and dropped the plate right in front of him and said, there, eat it. While holding the knife.
yes, bitch. That is, and that's the energy that a man like that needs.
Right.
You know?
So, I mean, I try to be very go with the flow, but there is a point where I'm like, no,
Yeah.
you're controlling the situation now.
Yeah.
And that was, you know, that's where I learned that. My other grandmother, a German woman, she's still alive. She's 93.
Oh, wow.
And she taught me a lot just from her life. She, growing up during World War II, being, on a train, being taken into Bavaria in Germany because Hamburg was getting bombed so badly, and how she survived my grandfather, who was very abusive to her, and how she raised two kids on a waitress's pay.
Wow.
And how she survived, and how she wouldn't take crap from anyone.
Yeah.
And not, again, in an aggressive way, but she was very assertive. There was a guy she worked for, it was a place called, I believe, the Elegant Farmer, and a restaurant in Fort Wayne. And this manager would come up behind, and he'd pull the back of the waitress's hair. And so she felt his breath and knew he was about to do that. And so she said to him in her thick German accent, if you touch one hair on my head, I will pull your schnoodle to the ground if it'll reach that far. She doesn't know. And she would say, I don't think he knew what a schnoodle was, but he didn't touch me. There was another time, there was a guy that was being very, very mean to her, very rude to her as a customer, and she had enough of it. And so she went and got a pot of hot coffee and held it over his head and said, either you leave right now, either you pay for your food and leave, or you'll be wearing this coffee.
Jesus.
So
you've inherited,
right,
like
the greatness.
See, the thing that I respect so much about you in situations like that is you know, in those moments where you want to redirect the energy, you know, if I was confronted with that, I would have broke at second two. But you do give people the opportunity to kind of like walk themselves back.
Right. If they want to course correct, or they want to just tap dance off the stage, go for it.
Please.
But if you're not going to, then
I'll tap dance you.
I do have to apologize to all of your viewers, but my dog desperately, I think, needs to go outside. Do you want to go outside?
It's totally fine.
Do you want to go outside? So I'm just going to...
Okay, first cut.
Yeah.
First cut
of the show. No, so I went into Club Soda, and one of the servers was being really rude to me. And instead of saying, do you know who I am? And I was already off the radio. So, do you know who I was?
You cannot do that. You cannot do that.
It's true, though. I mean, it's...
Yeah, no, I know. You are you are such a notable part of the community, and I mean that as a whole, in Fort Wayne, and that's why I was so excited to be able to sit down with you and just listen to your story. I mean, I know I kind of came in here not with like the grandest of ideas, but just
You haven't
the,
looked at your notebook once either.
no. Well, that's just if you're talking and I
Okay.
need to take a note
Okay.
so that I can get back to it. So I I am gonna let us wrap soon.
Mhm.
But what I would really love to know is
My cheesecake recipe.
what well, yeah, but you can give me that off the air. Um
My
what would
potato
you
salad recipe.
say
My tortellini salad recipe. My red cabbage
Well,
recipe.
you know,
My meatball recipe.
everybody's looking for your salad and your meatballs.
If only.
So 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 um what 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 do you think is your most like maybe not crowning achievement, but like what is your favorite memory of drag that you've ever had?
I think that the biggest, like the most touching thing for me, and it can be as simple as, you know, seeing one person touched by a joke or a performance, or really, you know, getting into a certain song, knowing that you've really made an impact, you know, in that minute, even if it's just to take them out of their worries for a minute, is great. But the energy you get from a crowd that is on their feet,
Yeah.
you know, 5, 10, 15,000 people on their feet screaming,
Mm,
that gives you energy like you've never known.
yeah.
Like the feeling is, it's a high that you will keep chasing all of your life,
Yeah.
because
Do you
it's
find yourself chasing that still, or is
I'm
that like something
I
that
I do a lot of really big shows because of the feedback, just that. And it's not so much to feed my own ego, but it's a rush. And when I see concerts and, you know, Cher or Adele or Tina Turner or Aretha Franklin or Madonna, whoever is taking the stage, and that sound the crowd makes,
Mhm.
knowing that I had people screaming that way for me,
Yeah.
is that's something that I'm going to carry with me right in my heart,
Yeah.
knowing that, you know, at least for a second, I was that important, that people were losing their minds
Mhm.
just walking on stage.
Oh my god, yeah.
And like I'm getting goosebumps
I mean, like,
about it.
drag is just like so important. Anyway,
Talk amongst yourself. Give
um
you a topic.
so with such a storied career and so many like great accomplishments,
I don't think they're
where
great accomplishments, but I'm still here, damn it.
oh, that's right. That's right. Where do you
You can play
see
this at my funeral. Not that I'm having a funeral.
Oh, oh,
I
I'll
will.
no,
In my will, there's a celebration.
I'll be having a funeral for Della.
Okay, it's like you could clarify that, please.
Um, um, but no, yeah. Where do you see? Where do you see? Did I ask the question?
No.
No, I didn't. I didn't ask the question. Okay, it was just in my head. Where do you see drag going for yourself, for the community? What
So
is your hope, your vision?
I have, well, I don't have to have a hope or a vision because I've seen it. Okay, so in the 70s, the height of fashion in the 70s and the 60s was the same thing that the height of fashion was in the 90s,
Mm,
right? And
mhm,
it came back again. It started to come back, you know, in this decade.
mhm,
The vests and the bell bottoms and
mhm.
that kind of stuff. Jinko jeans are back, for Christ's sakes. Um,
Yeah, I wore some denim
so
ones
it,
today.
yeah. So it's drag is very cyclical. And I don't think we're going to get back to the pencil thin eyebrow days, but we might.
They may come back.
They may come back, and if they are, I will be ready.
That's
I will be in an iron lung.
And I'll be drawing on her.
The Barbros on top. But no, it's very cyclical. So I see the pendulum swinging, much like politics.
Mhm.
I mean, the pendulum's going to swing back. Please God,
Oh God, we
if
look
you
forward to it.
exist. But also, fashion does that, and drag follows the fashion. So I think that my hope is that we are going to see more growth and more acceptance for different types of the art
Yeah.
of impersonation and drag. And I hope that we will still have a home in the next 10 to 20 years.
Yeah. 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 I mean that is a I mean that is a great hope for our community.
Yes.
Is there anything notable that you have coming up? Sorry.
No, you're fine. No, just
One
keep going. Keep going. No, keep asking.
Okay. So my question for you is, do you have anything notable coming up in the community that you would like for people to know about, people to attend, people to get excited about?
You know, Autumn Schlarice,
Oh, thank you.
Charlize,
Oh, I've never heard it like a slurp.
I feel like you have 10,000 sailors can't be wrong. You know, Autumn, I'm so glad as we're in conversation,
That's right.
go team. Is it still the cream and the burgundy?
No, it's no. It's orange and cream. It's like a dreamsicle.
It's like the colors from the 70s.
That's right. I should have worn my flannel
Well,
matched up.
I could go get my diploma from Northrop High School. I was put on an orange. Go Bruins. No, I completely forgot your question. Yes, what do I have coming up? Thank you. So I have the After Dark's 35th annual AIDS benefit coming up on March 28th.
Brilliant.
It's a Saturday, so it's coming up very quickly. We have lots of entertainment.
Yeah, I saw there's a cabaret to
Yeah, there's a
start.
cabaret. So it's going to start with Tilda World, Dixie Licious, and myself singing. We have about a half an hour for that. Then it goes into a live auction. And then after that, we kick off the show. There are little auction breaks during the show, but we're going to try to get rid of some of the bigger stuff early. So cabaret starts at 8. Auction starts at 8:30. The show starts at 9. I have $20 grab and go liquor baskets.
Oh, that's great.
So a little bottle of booze and a couple cute things. They're not going to be like these grand, but it's $20.
Yeah.
And all the proceeds go to the Positive Resource Connection, who for in the last 35 years, we've raised over $1 million for.
Wow. That is
So,
incredible.
and I'm the chair of this. So I get to put all this together, which is a labor of love.
Yeah.
And I don't feel I know I do a lot of charity things, but I just try to make my corner of the world a little bit better place.
Yeah.
And I'm hoping that that is something that becomes incredibly not possessive. I was doing so well on words.
You were
Contagious.
contagious.
I hope that becomes contagious.
Communicable.
And yes.
Do you have any words of wisdom or encouragement for drag performers who are coming up now?
Don't do it. It is the most expensive hobby you'll ever have. You are never going to make that money back.
Yeah.
You are never going to make that money back.
But do it.
So do it, but make sure you take care of yourself first. Make sure you have shelter. Make sure you have food. Make sure you have, get a degree, get a career. Do something for yourself and let drag be your reward.
Beautiful. Well, I mean, I think that that's a beautiful way to end this
Wonderfully uncut interview.
this wonderfully uncut, completely intact interview with Della Licious.
And I'm sorry I had to step away.
Oh, the one time.
Yes, to let it all out. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Della, for being in conversation with me. I so appreciate you. I am so grateful to call you my friend, and to be sitting here with you for my first episode.
I'm so glad that I got to be your first. It's been a while since this one's felt bad. A first, not that.
They're not that.
Yeah.
That's right. That's right. Well, thank you so much, guys. Have a great day. We'll see you next
Thank you.
time.
I love you. Thank you so much.
I love you. Thank you, Della.
Okay.
Yeah, I guess so. It might just be
Might
what
just be
we're
what
doing. Yeah. Let me. Oh, wait. Hold on. Let me. let me. Let me make sure the volume isn't
Ridiculous.
incredibly
No, we
loud.
can see the levels right
Well,
there.
I know, but I can.
No, I think it could probably go up maybe 20%.
Yeah.
Come honestly, look at it.
Oh, yeah.
You're not
that's true,
clipping.
honestly. Hold on. Hold on.
You're dealing with
What?
with a professional.
You know, I'm completely unprofessional, and that's how I like
That's
it.
why you have me.
That's right. I am gonna bust the speakers off of this. La da 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 da. La, la, la. Nah, okay.
I need just that looped if I can.
Be
So
sure.
we're looking here. We're not looking like.
I'm gonna probably be doing this.
Well,
I'm gonna probably be doing a little bit of that. a little
Okay,
bit
well, we should get a better watch. That's
oh, what is that?
not that I'm
What-
hateful.
Right,
Any
right,
way,
right,
shape, or form.